It's been said that when you lose one of your senses, your other senses become heightened to compensate. I've found that to be true because just recently I've lost my sense of humor and I've gained an impeccable sense of style. Right now I'm wearing a black and yellow tiger striped velvet sport coat with leather pants and I'm feeling quite cozy. So now that I've painted that picture in your mind, let's try and get it out with a pseudo semi-glitch tutorial in Cavalry. So this video is going to have to go a little bit fast because it's a kind of complex effect, plus I spent a little extra time on that opening quip. So let's get right into it. I'll click the T. We got our text and we'll center it in both directions here. And I'll pick a font that I like, or maybe I'm obsessed with this Equalize. You could find it at thefont.com. So I'll select the layer. I'll hit our duplicator button and now we've got duplications. I like this color scheme here that they've got, this bright one. You could use it or your own, and I'm going to make this into a node array and right click that menu button, hit create array from palette. Now I want to double click on my type tool and I'm just going to click and drag this color array button and find my tab up here for the fill of my text, and I'll drop it onto the fill color. Okay, so things are going good so far at least, and I want the duplicator to be below the text. I want to go into the duplicator, set it to random, and we want to decrease the spacing, and something like that will probably work. I probably don't need such a high count. I'll just bring it up just high enough where I could see kind of all the variation of the colors. So 24 looks like it's fine. Now I want to start adjusting scale here. So we don't need this for now. So under our type, I want to constrain it for the scale. So I'm going to go from X to Y, and this is just on our type layer. And now we got this. So now we can move one or change one and both move, which is perfect for me. And now I want to connect the scale of our, see, did I go too far? Oh no, here, the scale of our type layer to the scale of our duplicator. So I'll bring this scale to this scale and just test it out to see if they are, yeah, so they're working and life is beautiful. So we'll go on to the next step, which is I want another copy of my type layer. So let's get ourselves organized. We'll call this will be our original, and then I'll control C and I'll control V, and I'll try that again, and I'll try to get to work this time. Okay, so I've got our original, and I've got this one we'll call, this will be our blinds, and turn this off. So now we just see this one here. So for our blinds layer, let's all double click on it and let's add blinds to it. So we got our Venetian blinds, and doesn't that bring the room together? Now let's rotate. Didn't seem like a hard word to say, but rotated the blinds. Let's change the width so we have more lines, and then we could adjust the completion. That changes the thickness between the lines. So I think something like that is going to work. And now what I want to do is turn our original back on. So it's just kind of covering the blinds, but we can change that, and I'm going to alt double click on this one. I want to make some adjustments here, and the main thing that I'm concerned about is the fill. So if I double click, I can't select the fill because it's connected to our array. So to disconnect it, I click on this little arrow, and then I click on this X here, and now it's disconnected. I can click on this and pick a color. It's not very nice, but if we really saturate this thing, it might look a little bit better. Might as well drop the opacity a little bit here. So I think that works, and we could even mess with blend modes if we want. Hard light is kind of interesting. Actually, I'm going to go with that hard light blend mode, and then once we have that, we could really crank the opacity back up. I think that looks okay. And let's throw a background on here, make it a little bit more interesting. And I'll click this plus sign. I'll start typing BS, and that'll give us our background shape. I clicked all here before, and I think it stays on whatever you had clicked on, but this shows you everything. And I'll double click on that and then click away to get rid of that window, and I'll drag us all the way to the bottom. And let's continue with the Venetian blind effect here. So I will Alt double click on the background shape, and I'm gonna find the Venetian blinds. It's in here, and we got this background shape. Let's drag this over our filters, and you know what, that doesn't look great, so I think I'm gonna undo and just put a custom one because it's too small for the background. And we've got this up here, so our background shape 1, filters, we've got Venetian blinds working. I want to probably rotate that, so let's click on it. Rotation, do a -45 on the rotation, then we can make some adjustments here. Now, one thing I want to do is add another background layer so I can get a better feel for what's going on. So here, background shape, just type BS, and I've got background shape, drag it all the way to the bottom, not inside here or anywhere else, because that's going to cause problems. And I'll double click on this one so I could find the fill color, and let's make it something that is unique so we can understand what's going on. Maybe make it something that goes with what we're working on. The blue might work. I think I wanted a dark color though. Okay, so enough about that. And let's come back to our Venetian blinds that we have in our original shape. And so I'll lower the completion. Actually, I'll raise it because I want kind of thin lines here. And so it's a background, but maybe we can make it more interesting. And let's select this. Let's hit our duplicator, and then our duplicator is popped on top of everything. Let's put it right over here. And let's take the X down, and can make some adjustments here. Let's try offsetting. I don't think this, yeah, this will work. And yeah, so I have no plan here, as you probably could have guessed, but just trying to come up with some abstract artwork, art in quotations, and let's see, is there anything else? I could adjust the position here just for some variation. And you know, we could try rotating it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. I could just move it by hand also. And let's call that good. So now we've got stuff to look at. Now we just need to make it worth looking at by moving it around. And for this type of effect, I kind of like a high frame rate. So I'm gonna go to 60, hit enter, then I'll click out here to close that window. And actually, let me just move this. That looks a little bit better. And so like I was saying, we want to move some stuff around. So the first thing probably want to focus in on is this duplicator here. So let's alt click on it. Let's go to its shape position, right click, go to add behavior, and go to noise. And we're making some noise here. Gonna wake up the neighbors if we don't be too careful. Let's move this. All right, something like that. Let's see. How fast is it moving? Maybe a little bit slow, but we really don't know until we preview it. I'm gonna go with let's say 60 frames here, and let's kind of get this to match as best we can. And I've got my cache turned on, so let's play back, and once it loads up here, you'll see it in real time. And real time is pretty slow time. So the next thing I want to do is speed this up. But before I do that, I got 60 frames here, and we could make a loop. So I'll click on the looping. I just double clicked on my noise, so I see it. I'll double click to be precise. So we could loop it, and we could say, let's loop it every 60 frames. This might speed it up. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, it sped it up a little bit. And we could increase the frequency here. Now it's going to go basically twice as fast. That might be too much, but yeah, so that's pretty good. And so we've got some interesting stuff starting to happen, perhaps, but let's see, can we do some more? So we got our blinds here, and inside the blinds we have our blinds effect. I'll double on that, and let's put some noise on the width. So right click the width, add behavior, noise, and then if I want to find it quickly, I could just click on this arrow and then double click on the name. Let's say we never want it to go into the negative. We'll start off as a minimum of 10 and a maximum of maybe whatever. I'll have to adjust this later. I think our maximum is too high. Let's make this 20. And I might want to speed this up by a magnitude of 3. Okay, so that's pretty much the effect. Now, there's a million other things we could do in between. Like I could change the noise type to cellular noise, and it gives a little bit of a different type of movement. It's more of a jumpy, jittery type of movement. We could also go to our background shape here, these Venetian blinds. And actually, no, let's go to, what do we want to do? How about the duplicator? Let's add some noise to the duplicator of our Venetian blinds background shape. So I'll double click on that, and maybe scale. No, I don't think I want to do scale. Maybe a vertical scale. Let's do that. So I will right click on that, go to add behavior, add behavior, noise, and I just want on the Y for this one. So I'll click that, I'll click the arrow, double click the name. Now I've got my noise, and let's just see what it's doing out of the box. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. It really wasn't what I was expecting, but I'm not going to complain. And we've got our background shape here. It has its Venetian blinds. Let's see if we could connect this noise that we just made to this layer here, this node here, I should say. And okay, we could try rotation. That's probably going to make things go crazy, but nothing wrong with a little crazy every now and then. Okay, yeah, so I had no idea what to expect, but that's the result that we got, and I'm not dissatisfied with it. I could definitely spend more time to make it more interesting, but this is kind of the basic idea. I could start putting noise on almost everything, and make a lot more adjustments. But this is basically how you could get I don't know if you'd really call this a glitch or what, but it's a pseudo vector procedural glitch type animation. Let's just call it that.